Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى، وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى، لا سيما المصطفى صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. My dear brothers and sisters, welcome to another live edition of your program, Ask Huda. Our phone numbers begin with the area code are 002, then 0238555131 and alternatively area code 002, then 011005469 and the Facebook page is the R. Muhammad Salah Official. We have a pending question and a few questions that I received on the Facebook page, and many other concerns and questions, mashallah. But before that, I want to appeal to you brothers and sisters and request you to make sincere dua and to pray from the bottom of your hearts and ask Allah the Almighty to have mercy on our brothers and sisters in Aleppo, in Syria, in Asham. There is currently a massacre and a catastrophe taking place in Aleppo. Civilians of Ahlul Sunnah, of innocent Muslims, women, children, and elders are being currently massacred. And the entire world is watching. Some are enjoying it, and some like us are helpless. We cannot do much other than making dua, of course, and we are very strong believers that dua would do wonders. And can it change the destiny? And can it change everything by the leave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمُ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. It is very hard to sleep. It is very hard to enjoy a meal, to enjoy a bite or a drink while we're witnessing audio, video, sound, and sight. We can see, we can hear the cries, the screams, and the calling for help from those innocent civilians. And the entire world is literally doing nothing other than assisting in maintaining this catastrophe, because there are many ways that we can stop this catastrophe by instating a no-fly zone, by stopping this barbaric attack of the Russians and the criminal regime and its militia. When you hear women are asking for a fatwa, is it okay to take our lives before these criminals would rape us? Because this is what is happening. You just recall those old days, the dark age of the Tatar and the Mongols who invaded Iraq and Asham and massacred millions of innocent people. It is simply happening again, but in the 21st century. It is happening while all the Muslim countries are doing nothing. Unfortunately, some countries are assisting in maintaining this massacre, either militarily or financially or by sending their militias as well. It's simply a genocide in order to eliminate the Sunni Muslims from the blessed city of Aleppo. It's very hard to find words to describe what is happening. Especially, all of us have eyes and ears. All of us have access to the different media platforms. We can read, we can see, we can hear, and we're very depressed. We're very saddened that humanity is taking part in this massacre. Yes, indeed. All humanity is blameworthy because our rulers, our leaders, and those countries which have big military can do anything to protect the innocent Muslims. And this is the right upon us. This is the right of every single Muslim upon the rest of the Ummah. And what is making it worse is that it is happening on the hands of those who claim to be Muslims. We're watching, we're saddened, we're crying, we feel helpless, and I don't know what else other than making dua that we can do, because we are no rulers, we are no commanders of chiefs of these armies which spend, or you may say wasted, hundreds of billions of dollars on buying weapons, machines for wars, aircrafts to bombard other Muslims, and literally when it comes to help those weak and oppressed, they turn a deaf eye and blind eye and deaf ears, as if they don't see what is happening. At least you and myself and all Muslims who really care can make dua in our sujood, can make dua by the end of the prayer and before making taslim. We can fast. Tomorrow is the 15th of the month of Rabi' al-Awwal. I hope you were fasting today and yesterday. Also fast. And at the time of iftar, make plenty of dua. Devote this time to make dua for the innocent people of Aleppo. Ask Allah the Almighty to protect them, their women, their children, their elders, after they bombarded all the hospitals. And today they terminated the medical team of a big hospital which was remaining to assist the wounded and the injured. They are merciless. So by the leave of Allah, we believe that Allah the Almighty can change all of that by the power of making dua. At night, get up before Fajr, pray tahajjud, and ask Allah the Almighty to help them. Ask Allah the Almighty to destroy the perpetrators, the enemies of Islam and Muslims, the enemies of humanity, and those who assist them and those who sympathize with them, even if they happen to be Muslims, because they are allies to each other. وَالْمُنَافِقُونَ وَالْمُنَافِقَاتُ بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ. Again, I request you, brothers and sisters, to increase making dua for our brothers and sisters in Aleppo, for every further prayer. And those who are leading the prayer, if you can make qunut, so that after rising from ruku' on the last rak'ah of each further prayer, you invoke Allah the Almighty to give them victory, to save them, to spare them, and to destroy their enemies. This is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ during these calamities. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Safiya from Somalia. I know you've been waiting for a long time, Sister Safiya. Please try again. I do apologize. We have one sister from Nigeria, I don't recall the name, who inquired about the meaning of the word وَأَشْهِدُوا ذَوَيْ عَدِلٍ مِنْكُمْ. The word ذَوَيْ refers to dual, and al-ishhad is to call to witness. So this is a command to bring two just witnesses, two Muslim men, just witnesses. To witness what? It is the ayah of Surah At-Talaq, chapter number 65. Surah At-Talaq is revolving around the etiquette of giving divorce, and Ar-Raj'ah, which is revoking the divorce if it is revocable after the first and or the second divorce, as Allah Almighty said in another ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah, الطلاق مرتان فإمساك بمعروف أو تسريح بإحسان. So the man may divorce his wife the first time, and then it is revocable within a period of وَالْمُطَلَّقَاتُ يَتَرَبَّصْنَ بِأَنفُسِهِنَّ ثَلَاثَةَ قُرُوء. Women who are divorced, they should wait for 3 quru, يعني 3 periods, or the 3 purities after the menstruations. They cannot accept any marriage proposals. And they are waiting for the iddah in their spouses' houses. They share with them the same house where they live together. And in case that the husband decided to revoke his divorce, then she is still his wife. So in the second ayah of Surah At-Talaq, Allah the Almighty says, فَإِذَا بَلَغْنَ أَجَلَهُنَّ فَأَمْسِكُوهُنَّ بِمَعْرُوفٍ أَوْ فَارِقُوهُنَّ بِمَعْرُوفٍ وَاسْتَشْهِدُوا ذَوَيْ عَدْلٍ مِّنكُمْ. And it means that وَأَشْهِدُوا ذَوَيْ عَدْلٍ مِّنكُمْ. أشهدوا, al-ishhad is to call to witness. So Allah the Almighty says, once they reach their prescribed time, you have the choice either to retain them with kindness, or separate them with kindness. إمساكم بمعروف أو تسريح بإحسان in Surah Al-Baqarah, and here فأمسكوهن بمعروف أو فارقوهن بمعروف. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Sister Safiya from Somalia. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Go ahead, Sister Safiya. Welcome to the program.
Salam alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hear you. Go ahead.
Sheikh, I want you to ask female genital mutilation. Is it halal?
What is it? I'm sorry?
Female genital mutilation.
I didn't get that. I'm not familiar.
SGM. SGM, the one that...
What is SGM, Sister Safiya? Okay, you're talking about...
It's penal circumcision.
Circumcision. Okay, I got your question. Thank you. Well, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Hamza from the KSA.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, I have 3 questions.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, my first question is about Help for Syria. There are so many websites nowadays that say that we can donate them, but I'm not sure if they're
Sister
authentic or not.
Sister Hamza, there is a lot of noise in your phone line. Try again, please. Assalamu alaikum. طيب, Sister Hamza, try again. Circumcision in general is among the traditions of the pure nature, and Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam got circumcised when he was grown up, since it is traditions of the pure nature, and it is practiced by many other religions including Islam. And in the case of men, it is obligatory, and it is great for personal hygiene. And in the case of female, there are some references, but it does not escalate to the level of being mandated. So some of the scholars said it is permissible. Barakallahu fiki, Sister Safiya. And with regards to وَأَشْهِدُوا ذَوَيْ عَدْلٍ مِّنْكُمْ, Al-Imam al-Shafi'i, may Allah have mercy on him, was one of those scholars of jurisprudence who concluded from that it is required to have the witnesses for the divorce and the raj'ah in one of his views. The reference here in this ayah says that whenever somebody divorces his wife, then he decides to take her back to his marriage life before consummating, before the iddah is over, then he should have 2 just male witnesses. وَأَشْهِدُوا ذَوَيْ عَدْلٍ مِّنْكُمْ, to inform everybody that I've taken my wife back. وَأَقِيمُوا الشَّهَادَةَ لِلَّهِ. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Sister Hamza from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, wa alaikum assalam. Sheikh, is it clear now?
Yes, I hear you now.
Yeah, I have 3 questions.
Yeah.
My first question is about the donation websites for Syria nowadays. On many social media, we see that there are donation links for Help for Syria, but I'm not sure if they're authentic. So is there any authentic website, if you can give the address in the program,
طيب,
where we can donate? help for Syrian people.
نعم نعم بارك الله فيك جزاك الله خيرا sister Hamza. I can only voucher the credibility of those websites which I know. Since I'm not familiar with them, I'm very skeptical, to tell you the truth. Especially, we don't know who's behind the website, who's behind the collection. And this is very, very dangerous. Not only because your money may be wasted, it may be also misused or misplaced. But I know for sure that Islamic Relief, whether of Europe or North America, and Human Relief out of the UK, they collect fund and they have established camps for refugees and medical assistance and food supplies and all of that. I happen to look into their programs. They're very encouraging to donate to them. And my request to any non-profit organizations who are collecting fund, whether for Syria or for any other good cause, that remember الوقف على نية الواقف. الوقف على نية الواقف. When you ask me to donate for the purpose of supporting the Syrian refugees, then you're not allowed to redirect this money towards any other cause, especially local cause, like we want to build a masjid, renovate a school. You can't do that, because my donation, with the specific intention to reach certain people, you must deliver it. And another request for the non-profit organizations who are doing a fundraise here and there, it's supposed to be totally a non-profit cause. I mean by that, the speakers, the band, and the performers who encourage people to donate. You know, it is okay to be compensated for your travel, for your lodging, for your meals, but it makes no sense when you demand big payment. It's haram. It is too much, because this is not business. You're doing this to support those who are in need. I know some of these organizations have contacted me to ask that particular sheikh is demanding that much to give a talk in order to encourage people to donate for the Syrian refugees. My answer is immediately, he should not be invited. You should not give him the chance even to participate with you. How can we make business out of that? Those brothers and sisters, our bone and flesh, they are ours. They are our families. As I said, there is no problem to be compensated for your time, for your travel, for your lodging, but to demand a huge amount for giving a talk in order to raise fund for the Syrian refugees or otherwise, that makes no sense. And we as donors and we as non-profit organizations should not allow that. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Hamza, go ahead please.
Yes. My second question is about the fasting of the 3 days, three white days, 3 white nights, sorry. I missed 13th and 14th. So can I fast 15, 16, and 17? Would it be considered equal?
Okay.
Yeah.
Your third question, please.
Sorry?
You said you have another question.
Yeah, my third question is, can we hold the Mus'haf while reading Nawafil prayers like the Duha prayer and the Tahajjud prayer?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sister Hamza. In the hadith of Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, he said, أوصاني خليلي بثلاث, my best companion have enjoined me to do 3 things. And he mentioned the Duha prayer, the forenoon prayer, and he mentioned fasting 3 days of every lunar month, and he mentioned also praying witr before going to sleep or before Fajr. With regards to the second advice, صيام 3 أيام من كل شهر, fasting for 3 days on every lunar month, it is recommended to be on the 13th, 14th, and 15th, which we call them the 3 white days, because at night the moon is almost a full moon and the night is like close to daytime because of the light. It is full of light because of the moon reflecting the light of the sun. But in case that you are not able to fast on the 13th, 14th, or the 15th, it will be sufficient to fast on any 3 days. According to the hadith, fasting 3 days of every lunar month, it doesn't matter. Why? Because Allah the Almighty says in Surah Al-An'am, مَنْ جَاءَ بِالْحَسَنَةِ فَلَهُ عَشْرُ أَمْثَالِهَا. Whosoever brings a single good deed, Allah will reward him for it 10 times thereof. So whoever fasts for 1 day, the reward for fasting for a single day is equivalent to fasting for 10 days. So fasting for 3 days will be rewarded as if you have fasted for 30 days, like a whole month. And basically, when you maintain doing so every month, then reward will be a reward of a person who has been fasting throughout the entire year. That's why it is recommended to fast 3 days of every lunar month. If you can't, if you can fast them on Ayyamul Bid, then any other day, whether consecutive or separate. Like you want to fast tomorrow, and also Thursday, it's recommended to fast on Thursday anyway. Tomorrow is the 15th, inshallah. Tomorrow is Wednesday, the 15th of Rabi' al-Awwal, because some of the viewers who are watching us right now, it is still the 14th in their countries. And some, actually, it is the 16th. It crossed the midnight already. So I'm talking about my local time here. Today is the 14th of Rabi' al-Awwal, the year 1438, after the migration of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and tomorrow, inshallah, is the 15th. So if you want to fast tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and day after, that's fine, or any other 3 days during the month, that will do it, inshallah. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Brother Abu Muhammad, welcome to the program.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh. I want to ask you a question.
No.
My wife, she needs to pay 4 days back from last Ramadan.
No.
And basically she hasn't, and now she's pregnant, and the other Ramadan is coming. And I was just wondering what it is like that she can do. She won't be able to pay it back now. She's pregnant and very sick, and then the other Ramadan is coming.
No.
And she has to pay 4 days back from the last Ramadan.
No. Yeah. Any other questions?
No, that's it, Sheikh.
Thank you, Brother Abu Muhammad. Okay, first of all, congratulations for your wife's pregnancy and conception. Secondly, may Allah make it easy for her, and may Allah grant you both a goodly offspring and a healthy one. Allahumma ameen. Thirdly, you can make up those days after she gives birth of the current baby, inshallah, or if she can fast nowadays, any day she can make up those days, because being pregnant does not necessarily mean that you will not be able to fast. Similarly, being breastfeeding doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot fast. Some women whom I know, they have fasted for the entire month of Ramadan while pregnant, and they have fasted for another month of Ramadan while breastfeeding. So if you can, fine. If you can't, then postpone making them up, inshallah, until you can. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Aisha from the KSA.
Hello?
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, Salam alaikum, Salam alaikum, doctor.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mute your TV, Sister Aisha, please.
This is Sister Aisha from Kingdom, Saudi Arabia, please. I have question for you. I am the second wife of my husband. And can I have the right to ask divorce if the financial is not enough?
Any other questions?
For example, I'm working and I am the one who pay for the renting of the house. So can you advise for me to do what to do?
Okay. Thank you, Sister Aisha from the KSA. Sister Hamza's second question, can I hold the Mus'haf while praying the voluntary prayers and recite from an open Quran, yes, that is permissible according to the vast majority of the scholars, with the exception of Imam Abu Hanifa, may Allah have mercy on him, who believes that it resembles the acts of the people of the book, the Jews and Christians, who recite from an open book, while Muslims should memorize the Quran by the heart. But according to the vast majority of the fuqaha, it is permissible, especially that Aisha radiallahu anha used to do it in a way that she used to let her servant lead her in a prayer, and he was in memorizing the Quran, so he would just recite from an open Quran. So accordingly, it is permissible, particularly, as I said, in the voluntary prayer. Sister Aisha from the case A is a second wife to a man who, according to her code, that cannot provide for the family. So now, as usual, there is a default statement that I like to mention in answering questions like that, which is, I don't know the sister, nor do I know her husband. And I'm not giving a judgment, I'm not giving a marriage counseling, because I'm not sitting with both of them. Otherwise, in normal circumstances, you should be listening to both parties. Okay? You should not give a verdict simply by listening to one complaint from one person. You all know the story of Prophet David, peace be upon him, when the two angels disguised, and one of them complained, disguised as like if there are two human beings, two partners. And one of them said, إن أخي هذا له 99 نعجة ولي نعجة واحدة قال أكفنيها وعزني في الخطاب. He made his case that my brother or my friend or my partner happens to have 99 sheep, and I only have one sheep. So he said to me, why don't you give me yours so I can have 100? So anyone would hear the story would say, this is silly. And another would say, this is injustice. And a third say, this is rude and cruel. And Dawood alayhi salam, by listening to one side of the story, said, لَقَدْ ظَلَمَكَ بِسُؤَالِ نَعْجَتِكَ إِلَى نِعَاجِهِ. This is dhulm. This is injustice. Then he realized that he made a mistake. ظن داود أنما فتنه فاستغفر ربه وخر راكعا وأناب. He recognized that it was nothing but a test. So he fell in prostration and he repented unto Allah the Almighty. For what? For uttering a judgment without listening to the second party, the other side of the story. So what I'm saying here, this is not a verdict. My answer is a general answer. Any answer I provide when it comes to business deal between two partners or marriage relationship, I do not necessarily answer this particular sister. I don't know who is she, nor do I know whether she is absolutely true or maybe she's not exactly true. So what I'm saying is, number one, for a person to get married, whether the first time or afterward, he should be capable to afford and to take care of a family financially. Okay? So if the person cannot afford to feed himself, then how would you take care of a family? We understand that Allah the Almighty helps. That is true. When people assist you and chip in order to save you some money, give you a job, or give you a place to live in, that's, we're moving on. But when you don't have nothing, okay, and you want to get married, how would you get married? How would you buy food? You have to have a job, you have to have a source of income. You have to utilize the proper means while putting your trust in Allah the Almighty. Continue inshallah after this call. Assalamu alaikum. Abu Safwan from Kuwait. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. How are you?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah, Abu Safwan.
Sheikh, I have a question. It is deeply out of my frustration. With reference to the present, miserable conditions Ummah going through. My question is, as per signs of ours, there will be more bloodshed and more killing. And the person being killed will not know why he's killed, and who's killing doesn't know why he's killing. So in simplest terms, things have to get worse so that the other events should be unfolded. So my question is, as per the present state of affairs, where Muslim leaders and the countries are literally impotent, So how the things for Muslim Ummah will get better? Shall we wait for the Jesus or what otherwise?
Jazakallah khairan. Barakallah fiqh, Abu Safwan. This is what I've been talking about since the beginning of the program. You're saying that the leaders seem to be important. And I'm saying that we are helpless because we don't have we're not decision makers. We don't have the means. I say, if Allah the Almighty will give me the opportunity to defend those brothers and sisters, I swear to Allah, by my life, by my soul, I would not hesitate. I understand that I have a family, I have a duty behind my back, and I have kids, but this is my duty right now, provided it should be done in a legal fashion, in a legitimate fashion. You understand what I mean? So if this is the case, if any Muslim country, if any Muslim leader would call people to assist and provide them with the proper means, weapons, and train them, I'm going to be the first. And I'm going to invite everybody to do it. But the problem is falling in the wrong hand, like the so-called Islamic State, which I like to call it the non-Islamic State. The current dilemma which is happening nowadays in Asham and before in Iraq is simply because of that. I am a strong believer that ISIS is not created by Muslims. It is created by non-Muslim intelligence in order to be like a nest together, these guys who do not have a proper leader, who do not have a proper guidance, so that they take this as an excuse, so that you find all the different countries are bombarding whom? They are not bombarding ISIS. They are bombarding civilians. They are targeting schools and hospitals, and this is what we see. It is no secret anymore. And where is ISIS? Oh, they jump around from one place to another, so we're chasing them. They keep destroying one city after another. That's why I say, I wish I'm a decision maker at this time, so that my life will be a sacrifice for the least child or the least sister in Aleppo or anywhere in the world. I swear to Allah, but I like to do it the proper way. And I'm not going to call anyone to do a foolish thing, then be responsible before Allah the Almighty for it. In my recent trips to the UK, a lot of youth following some websites and watching some emotional videos, which later on we figured through a scandal that it was funded and it was fabricated and produced by the Pentagon. Over $500 million was spent on a British production company to make those videos so that it would attract more and more youth. Those youth are innocent. They don't know anything. They watch a few videos and then they want to do anything to help. They are attracted to simply mirage. Some centers I visited, most of the youth were gone. They crossed the borders and they were not able to come back. When they go and they find out that they are not in the right hand, but they can't come back anymore. That's why Allah is my witness. I believe that our leaders are entirely responsible before Allah the Almighty, whether those who are passive and doing nothing, or those who are assisting the criminals and the militia of the criminal regime. Both are blameworthy before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. As for myself, if there is any way I can support financially, we must do that. And if there is any way besides making dua that we can support physically, I'm willing to be the first, inshaAllah Azza Jal, provided it must be legitimate. Okay, brothers and sisters, we're going to take a short break. Then inshallah, after the break, I will comment on Sister Aisha's question about divorce due to financial restraint. Please stay tuned.
Huda TV strives to remain the premier English language Islamic channel in the world, and to do so, we need your input. Send us your thoughts, suggestions and feedback through email at feedback@huda.tv. Huda TV is committed to helping others, So why not help Huda TV share the message of Islam worldwide? Take part in helping spread the authentic message of Islam based on the Quran and the Sunnah throughout the world by sponsoring Huda TV. Don't miss this unique opportunity to gain the reward from Allah.
Muhammad, the most common name in the world. Why were so many parents interested and still are interested in naming the children Muhammad? What are examples of his love, his compassion, his mercy, his dedication, his sincerity, his bravery? How did he balance between private life and the public sphere of life? Why is he known as the greatest mercy sent to humankind? Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Join us as we learn more about the balanced and beautiful personality of perfection, Muhammad.
TV commercials motivate viewers into immediate action and to sway consumer loyalty from one brand or service to the other. That's why we're here for you, to help you sell your products and services by using creative ideas that bring life into your own TV commercial. Advertise your business and branded products and services on Huda TV. We will offer you fast-paced and energetic 30-second affordable TV spots. Advertise on Huda TV. Acquire fresh customers and stay within your budget. For more info or to receive a quote, please send your inquiries to advert@Huda TV. Huda TV.
أفلا يتدبرون القرآن ولو كان من عند غير الله لوجدوا فيه اختلافا كثيرا.
We all know that a person's iman increases and decreases, and the best way to increase your iman is through the Quran.
To contemplate, to reflect, to ponder over the verses of the Quran.
أفلا يتدبرون القرآن ولو كان من عند غير الله لوجدوا فيه اختلافا كثيرا.
In this program, we will listen to the Quran first, and that should soften our hearts. And then once we get to know the meanings and contemplate over these meanings, then we can change by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
ولا يأتونك بمثل إلا جئناك بالحق وأحسن تفسيرا. ولا يأتونك بمثل إلا جئناك بالحق وأحسن تفسيرا.
Join us on Quran Circle 2 and increase your iman.
الحسنى فادعوه بها وذروا الذين يلحدون في أسمائه سيجزون ما كانوا يعملون.
قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: إن لله 99 اسما 100 إلا واحدة من أحصاها دخل الجنة.
Al-Khaliq, the Creator. He is Allah, the Creator. He created everything from nothing and decreed everything's destiny. He is the Creator who made all created things from nothing, and He decreed for them unending. He is the Creator. He created the
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. Sister Aisha from the KSA before the break asked about she's being a second wife and the husband is not supporting the family. She's the one who's working and paying the rent and supporting herself. Can she ask for divorce accordingly? So I said my answer is general, have nothing to do with this particular case, because some cases there is an agreement, prenuptial agreement, that the wife agrees to support herself because she's kind of wealthy or she has a good job. It is worth of mentioning here that there is a general consensus amongst all the scholars of the Muslim Ummah that an-nafaqa, the financial support, supporting the wife, is mandatory upon the husband on reasonable basis. The housing, the clothing, the food, and the medication. So if he's not doing any of that, because from the beginning you waived your right, and it happens, a sister who is looking for a husband and he's already married and he have kids, but he cannot afford to get married again. So she says, you know, I don't need anything from you. I just need a man in my life. So there was an agreement from the beginning. Then it is not your right to change your view afterward because you accepted that from the beginning. But in normal circumstances, that an-nafaqah is due upon the husband, supporting the wife financially and paying for the entire basic needs of the household is the duty of the husband and the family father. So if he is not doing so and there was no pre-agreement that he is not supporting you financially, we look into his condition. Maybe that for some reason he was wealthy and now he's broke, and it is ups and downs. So in this case I would advise to be patient and help him morally and pray for him that Allah the Almighty will take him out of this adversity into prosperity. But if we're talking about somebody who is broke from the beginning and he have no means and he's struggling to survive, and you are suffering accordingly, it is absolutely your legitimate right to ask for divorce. And if you take your case to any court, you will be granted divorce. Then you would follow the proper iddah and you would deserve your full dowry because you guys have consummated the marriage already. May Allah make it easy for you and give us all prosperity and protect us against any adversity. Ameen. The second question of Sister Halima, she says, how many hadith were collected by Aisha radiallahu anha from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? The mother of the believers, Aisha radiallahu anha, narrated from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam over 2,000 hadith. It's basically and exactly 2,210 ahadith. May Allah be pleased with her. The following question is from Brother Rida Hafiz. He says, after the death of the husband, is the marriage nullified and the husband becomes a non-mahram for his ex-wife? Secondly, can wife give ghusl to her husband after death? And thirdly, are women allowed to go to the graveyard? The first and the second question are relating to each other, which is the relationship between the husband and wife. Whenever one of them dies, would it be nullified? Absolutely not. And I don't know where did it come from that some people, particularly in the Indian subcontinent, believe that if one of the spouses dies, then the other cannot even touch him or her, let alone seeing them or washing their bodies, because they have become haram to each other. This is absolutely not true. And as a matter of fact, we have many ahadith and references supporting the opposite. Yani, take for instance, who washed the decease of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu? It was his wife, Asma bint Umays, may Allah be pleased with her. And this is confirmed. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq was not an ordinary person. He was the Khalifa. So doing something like that, the entire Ummah is aware of it. All the Sahaba are aware of it, that Asma is washing the body of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, right? And she narrated also that Fatima radiyallahu anha made a wasiyah. She requested a will or a bequest that whenever she dies, it should be Ali radiallahu anhu who would wash her body. With some more hadith after this call, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Asia from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, ya Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Go ahead, Sister Asia.
Thank you very much for your efforts to educate us and answer our questions.
Thank you.
I have one question.
No.
Yeah, Sheikh, there's a sister who wants to get married, but she has not been able to find a suitable spouse. So now, alhamdulillah, Allah has sent her a suitable partner. She wants to go on with the nikah, but the question is in line with what you discussed earlier about financial support. She is willing to go into a marriage that she would tell the husband not to support her in any way, just because she wants to remain married. She wants to get married so badly. So she is in doubt. Should she go on with the marriage and tell the husband it's okay for him not to support her? She can support herself. She just wants to status as a married woman. Would like your advice on that, Ya Sheikh.
طيب, Sister Asia, this kind of marriage is called misyar, where she waives one of her genuine rights, which is a nafaqa, if she wants to. But I personally have an opinion which I would like to share with you after this call, inshallah. Sister Maya from the USA.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Maya, welcome to the program.
Thank you. I have one question for a friend. She's asking, she's married right now and her husband got another wife back in his country. And in order for the second wife to come to the United States, he has to end up the first marriage. But only on paper, he says to her. So she wants to know if this consider a divorce or not.
Okay, I got your question, Sister Maya. Okay. Let me continue the question I was answering first, then I will go to Sister Asia's question from Nigeria. Aisha radiallahu anha narrated in a sound hadith collected by Imam Ahmad and Ibn Majah. It is authenticated by Sheikh Al-Albani. May Allah have mercy on his soul. She said that once the Prophet ﷺ, when he returned from a funeral in Baqi', I had a headache. I was holding my head and I was saying, wa ra'sa, oh my head. So he said, bal ana wa ra'sa. Rather, I should say, oh my head, which means that the Prophet ﷺ had a headache maybe severer than her headache. Then he remarked saying, ما ضرك لو مت قبلي فغسلتك وكفنتك ثم صليت عليك ودفنتك. And this is the reference. It will not matter for you if you happen to die before me. Then I wash your body and I shroud you and I offer or I lead your funeral prayer. Then I bury you. Which means, despite, we're not discussing the entire meaning of the hadith, but here we're discussing that the Prophet ﷺ suggested the possibility that if Aisha would die before him, eventually what happened was the opposite. The Prophet ﷺ died years and years before the death of Aisha radiallahu anha. But he said that if you were to die before me, I would wash your body. When this is a reference that the Prophet ﷺ would wash his wife's body after death and shroud her and bury her. And which means that the person is not forbidden for his spouse or her spouse after death at all. And this is truly baseless, and we should stop circulating that. I have seen many cases like that in the US, where some people coming from this part of the world, they say, no, you cannot wash your husband's body. She wants to give him a goodbye kiss, or he wants to see his wife last time. No, you can't see her because she's not your wife anymore. Ya Ikhwani, come on. Please stop suggesting in the deen without knowledge, and stop incorporating your cultural practices into the religious rules and prescriptions. Also, Aisha radiallahu anha narrated that لو استقبلت من أمري ما استدبرت. If I happen to have a chance again to look into the case, because they were all shocked at the time of the death of the Prophet ﷺ, she said, if I was thinking about it at that time, we, his spouses, would have washed his body ﷺ, and not let anyone else wash his body. Okay? So that means the relationship is not over, and a husband can wash the dead body of his wife and vice versa. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, that was cut off. Sister Asia from Nigeria, a sister who is well off, she's got a job and she's got some means, and she desperately needs to get married. But so far, excuse me, the only person who is proposing now, he is proposing with the condition that he's not going to provide for her. Excuse me. I understand your situation. Look, if this man is well off too, he's got a job, he's got a decent income, and he is putting this as a condition before marriage, even if he's the last person on earth, say no. Say no. That's cheap. Miser. And it's such an evil quality. But maybe sometimes the person is in the beginning of his life. He is promising that once the condition will improve, I will be more than happy to provide for you. I know that you're living in a very high standard. I cannot afford to provide for you according to your standard. My standard is that much because my salary is that much. You know, we can work it out. Because somebody who is taking advantage from the beginning, he is giving you the impression from the beginning that I only want you for bed. I'm here to enjoy the free ride. Don't give him the free ride. Okay? You understand the difference now. Sister Maya from the USA asked a question which is common. You know, somebody who's already married in any of these countries which they do not allow having a second wife. It's okay to have a mistress or two or three. It's okay to have a wife and to cheat on her with many girlfriends, but or even prostitutes. But to have a second wife, it is illegal. You can go to jail for that. Anyway, so now he's married to another one in his country, and he wants to bring his wife to the country that he's living in, which would require him to divorce his current wife only on papers. Would that divorce count? It counts as a divorce. But if he wants to take you back, and you guys agree to that, it will be considered, the divorce on paper. What counts before Allah the Almighty is the actual condition. Like somebody filed for divorce and they got divorced on papers. Then they got verbally married with the witnesses and everything. That's a valid marriage, whether it's stated on papers or not, by the word, by the shahada. لا نكاح إلا بولي وشاهدي عدل. May Allah the Almighty guide us to what is best. Brothers and sisters, we ran out of time. I want to remind you and appeal to you once again, please increase making dua for our brothers and sisters, our poor brothers and sisters in Aleppo, particularly nowadays. Pray at night and in your fard namaz, in your sujood after the prayer, and the imams make qunut in your prayer. In the last rak'ah, raise your hands and ask Allah the Almighty to deliver an immediate relief, help and support to those innocent civilians in Aleppo. And also ask Allah the Almighty to destroy the perpetrators and their allies and their supporters. The Prophet ﷺ did so whenever there was a nazila or a calamity. This is the right time to do so. May Allah the Almighty guide us what is best. If you can fast tomorrow and Thursday, and at the time of iftar, make dua. At least this is something that shows us and our children that we really care. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Your mercy is what I beseech.